Welcome inside Coca-Cola Coliseum for an all-Canadian showdown between Toronto and Montreal. Starting tonight for the Victoire is Elaine Chuli, the Waterford, Ontario native, dressed Tuesday after being out sick for 3 games. So tonight is Chuli's first start in 17 days, last facing Minnesota in a 4-0 loss. And then over on the other end, Kristen Campbell looks to backstop Toronto to their first win over the Victoire this season. She had all 5 regulation wins against Montreal last season. We'll see what she can do tonight.
Well, it's a good night for a lot of these players, and Haley Scamora just renamed to Team USA, so she's going to have a little extra jump in her step, I gotta think.
In total, 5 players in for tonight will be joining Team USA at the upcoming Worlds. And right off the draw into the Toronto zone, Harmon flips it back. Chuli will play it. In comes Jessie Comfort. Comfort with goals in every game against Montreal this season, including 3 opening goals against the Victoire. So watch for her. But here comes Laura Stacey to Poulin. Backhand, kept out by Campbell. Loose puck, Gardner comes in. She takes it around. Forced to the outside. Centering feed. It's kept out once more. Barnes was quick to it.
Well, that's a good start for that top line. They already get a good scoring chance, a couple of them, and you can keep your eye on them, but they're hard to contain.
Now Watts looking for an opening, can't find it. Out comes Abby Boreen for the Victoire. He's trying to drift the puck in, takes it into the far corner. Allie Monroe trying to work it off the wall as well. Flanagan in quick. Of course, Toronto well rested, coming off that break, including Miller. Shoots off the pad at Chuli. Both goaltenders with saves early in this game.
If you watch this Toronto team just stretch out the zone, Izzy Daniel took off, and she's just looking to give them some space in the neutral zone. It works, and Hannah Miller has room.
Big hit on Carter, who sent the puck down into the Toronto zone, working from below the goal line now. They try to get a clean exit. Put the puck back behind Carter with a quick reversal. Now along the wall. Tabin puts it back down from the point. Katie Tabin with an incredible game at the Bell Center last week. Out comes Natalie Spooner. She's got fast in the slot as well. Skims the crease, another shot from top of the circle there. Woods, closer to the hash marks rather. Toronto coming out with a spark. Flanagan looking for a way in. She'll take just a center shot down. As Malte comes in, Tabin takes exception.
Well, that's Malte doing Malte things, right? She's supposed to be a pest on the ice. She's one of the best in the world at it. She's got a big smile on her face as she's drawing a reaction. And look at Natalie Spooner, a player that's trying to get her first goal. She's come back into this lineup late. Nice rush down the ice. She draws this puck outside, just tries to fire and put it on net. But she continues on, turns, and right back to the front of the net to try to get a stick on this. Just love the fact that she finished that play at the net.
We'll get back to it. An offensive zone draw for the Sceptres. Miller at the dot. Harmon, the hard rim. Watts was there, now fast. Puts it on Chuli. O'Neill comes in. He's forced to use the end wall as well. Back out Harmon in the neutral zone. A loose puck. Izzy Daniel comes in. Loose once more. Dubois. A little backhand flip. Send it down. Victoire working their way around. Dominika Laskova in her second game of this season after making her debut on Tuesday. Big game for the Czech player who was out with a knee injury. Only played 7 games in that inaugural season. Now Harmon trying to ward off the Victoire. Laskova sends it around. Keppel comes in. Quick work by Daniel, just out of reach for Watts.
Laskova, you got to think a player too. She got 6.5 minutes of ice last game. Of course, she's on right now. She got the puck, and a player that if they can get her back to form, she could be good.
Laura Kluge works it off the wall up to Flanagan. And she sends it around. Monroe, far side. Out comes Connors in close quarters. And Julie, a bit of a stick there by Gosling. Not intentional, perhaps, but still, Julie.
And I like the ideas. Get that puck out from low, pull it out, and get that shot right on net. So a little bit of low play, change the point of attack. Connor steps out, fires, and the last puck that went on Julie, she wasn't able to hold the rebound. So that tells me you want to shoot from everywhere just to see.
Well, and Julie, the most shots she has faced this season came from Toronto. But eventually it was a shootout win for the Victoire, but it was 40 shots. So she's been peppered and played through it.
Of course, Desbiens was peppered last game against Minnesota, so a well-deserved night off for her as she faced 41 shots and then the shootout.
Now Poulin finds herself in traffic, steered into the far corner. From the point, Stacey down low. Trying to find some space. Back out. Another chance here. Ambrose. Puts it on the near side. Tabin trying to pull away. Not quite. In comes Stacey. Work along the wall. Turnbull gets a touch. Now Monroe.
Nora with a nice touch out into the neutral zone. And she does the little things so well. If you want to know why she's on Team USA, it's all of that.
On a hard crash into the boards for Monroe. That'll draw a penalty as well. So right now, play will continue. Campbell heading towards the bench. Spooner trying to chase it down. Looking to get around Wilgren. The power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Paper towel, power through tough messes. Power play with a 32% efficiency right now. They were kept off the board. In front, they score! Just like that! Natalie Spooner is back with a power play goal.
Well, that's got to feel good for Natalie Spooner. She's been out of the lineup for so long, has worked her way back in, and she gets her first goal. And this power play just continues to stay red hot. Now, Julia Gosling seems to have found a home, too. She's just been dynamite as well. She snaps that pass over. It takes 2 whacks, but Spooner puts it in. And the key to this is she fires that puck. That's a hard pass. She's got to get it past 2 Montreal players. And she does just that. We've really seen Julia Gosling find a home as well, as she's been just fantastic on the power play.
Talked about how that break might have been good for number 24. I bet that felt good to get back to her scoring ways. The league's leading scorer year one. First came away with so many awards, MVP. So Toronto working with the lead. Now they have had leads in 3 games against the Victoire this season and have been unable to close it out. Comfer with a quick shot. The crowd reacting to Spooner's first goal of this season. Fast and Gosling with the assist on that. Julie getting to work. In come the Sceptres. Certainly rolling with some momentum early on here. Out to Stacey. Stacey waiting. Looking for a centering feed. Poulin puts it on the pad of Campbell.
Well, what a physical start to this game, too. And, you really hype this up. It's Toronto, Montreal, and you're getting a little bit of everything, including Natalie Spooner's first goal.
Turnbull at the dot. Leaving against Murphy. In comes Harmon. Toronto still looking to work out of their own end. Get in the neutral zone. Wilgren around Comfort. And then Gregg lays a hit. Garrett Gregg trying to find some space. Goes cross ice to Barnes. She picks up speed, gets around Connors. Harmon along the wall. Now Julia Gosling picked up her 5th career assist tonight. Out comes Maggie Connors off a turnover, but stripped by Lena Youngbloom. Good stick work for the Victoire to get them going the other way.
That's just an incredibly good back check. And Corey Chevry's talked about her team and the focus on details. That's one of the details. You can come back hard and take away the stick.
So McKinnon working below Toronto's goal line. The half wall, Miller gets it out. Gosling trying to work it off the wall. In comes O'Neill, but out comes Miller. There's Connors, patient, up to Miller, Hannah Miller! Oh, and it's just wide. League's leading scorer, dangerously close for Elaine Chuli.
She drives that mid lane, and she's a player you don't want to lose track of her the way she's putting pucks in the net. Montreal does.
Now, Kristen O'Neill puts it off the pad. O'Neill having a tough time finding the scoreboard.
That was a quality chance for her. She got into the middle of the ice, but yeah, 13 games without a point. She would love to get on the board.
Now Watts trying to work it around, the official in the mix as well. Brad Mentis in for Montreal. From the point, Ambrose. Puck pushed out. Another chance, DeGeorge to the point. Tabin from the circle. Some bodies in front now, back behind Claire DeGeorge. Out to Ambrose once more. Ambrose through traffic. Sets it up for Tabin to collect it. With Monroe and Flanagan trying to get to work. DeGeorge from the circle. Quick turnaround, Watts.
This has been a really good shift for this third line. Claire DeGeorge on this line, newly centering it.
And a great stretch feed up to Easy Daniel, and a big hit will be another penalty. Barnes taking that one, and of course, teammates will look to have some words.
Ella Barnes just hit Izzy Daniel just as she turned, so she's going to pay the price and sit down for 2 and give this power play its 2nd opportunity of the game.
Goal, first of the season. Hit 7 power play goals last season. Of course, not as fast as well. Gets the puck right away. So good. 14 power play points, and she finds the middle lane. Gosling on the doorstep along with Spooner. It's Stacy out to Gardner, and this penalty kill has been so good as well for Montreal. In comes Miller. She takes it herself, keeps it. Back around, working below the goal line. Gosling getting in there too. Too quick for fast.
Miller navigated right into the middle of the ice all alone.
Fast, forced to circle back. As up comes Dalton, and Ambrose will just put it back down on Campbell. We saw the Victoire's penalty kill has been improving through their last few games. In fact, they were on a 4-game perfect streak before Minnesota's goal by Taylor Heisey on Tuesday. Armin to Flanagan at the point. She looks for a lane. Out that time to Malte. Back to Comfort. Pressure by Boulier. She's getting around Dalton as well. Flanagan once more. The circle, Harmon, one-timer, kept out by Keppel.
Keppel does a nice job to get her body in that lane.
30 seconds remain. 5-on-4 for the Sceptres. 2nd power play of the game, 2nd for Toronto. They look to extend an early lead. Woods along the wall. Milgren. Barnes standing in the penalty box as time winds down. Final 5 seconds. 5-on-4. And it's a good penalty kill. No shots by the Sceptres that time. Of course, Spooner fired and scored on the very first shot of their last. advantage.
Well, Montreal just did a really good job of reading when to pressure and then pressuring the puck hard.
Poulin lays a big hit. Will be another call here.
Well, it looks like it's going to be one of those games, Daniela. All sorts of trips to the penalty box. This time it's going to be Renata Fast as she goes in for the trip on Laura Stacey. Montreal's power play that has struggled at times this season, but has the potential to be very good. Fast just kicked Stacey's legs out from under her. A streaky power play, as they were really struggled at the start of the year, and then the middle portion, they were 35% for a little while. They're back to struggling right now, but they certainly do have the personnel to be good.
Yeah, 5th ranked power play, 15.9% efficiency right now. They've been stuck at that 10 power play goal mark for a while. 3 of their 10 being scored on the road. They've been unable to score on the advantage against Toronto during the season series. So all those wins have been the strength of their 5-on-5 this power play, brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Wilgren comes in, stopped short by Monroe. Back around Turnbull. And Toronto has scored a jailbreak on home ice. It was game 1. Of course, the player there, Sarah Nurse, not out on the ice tonight.
Well, this is an interesting unit you're getting from Montreal. Not one that we've seen. Maybe we are scrambling things up to see if they can get something going.
Something a little different. Poulin, of course, out there along with Ambrose. From the point, Ambrose patient. Out to Stacey. Setting up top circle. Over to Poulin on the right side. Back down to Ambrose. She looks for a lane. Right in front, trying to go 5-hole is Keppel, but it's kept out.
Well, this is an interesting configuration that we have right now, because that's Kayla Barnes, who is set up in front of the net to get that tip. Of course, one of your top defenders, and they've been going to a 2-defender unit. They have to work the puck around because they're making a change. They still don't have everyone in the zone. Ambrose fires that puck. Nice head up, throws it. And there's Barnes, net front, looking for the tip. It's a nice tip on it, too. Not a place that she would be accustomed to playing on the power play.
Halfway through this player advantage for Montreal, the first for the Victoire in this game so far, combined 3 power plays. Toronto had 2 chances scored the first time. Stacey trying to work back. Feeling that pressure from Harmon. Poulin out to Gardner this time. Ambrose. Back down to Poulin. Scamora had her stick out. Stacey one-timer off the pad. Stacey composed, back down to Barnes from the goal line. Out to Ambrose, comes in. Just wide Poulin. From the far side, it's kept out.
And that's a nice look from Ambrose at the top. She's just trying to put that one off the side of the net for the tip to Stacey coming in.
20 seconds to go, 5-on-4 for Montreal. Can they even things out on the power play? Poulin dropped to Stacey, back up. And Flanagan gets there first, just fires that one down.
With a really nice read to pressure that puck. You got to know when your opposition's in a vulnerable position.
2 shots on that power play for Montreal, but we're back to even strength. It's Fast back out. Grand Mentis trying to send it up, and it goes into the neutral zone and passed.
Well, one of the areas, I mean, Montreal has just been humming this season. If they could get that power play going, it would be pretty impressive for them.
And second when it comes to even strength goals. Boulier to Keppel. It's offside. 4:40 left in the opening frame. And
Sarah Nurse up in the press box, awaiting her return. She went on LTIR at the rivalry series. Of course, that's Gina Kingsbury standing behind her.
All kinds of fired up movement. Swapped out, so Stacey face off against Turnbull. Sceptres win it. Carter comes in, quick shot. Ambrose collects the rebound, sends it down for Poulin, who's in a race. Flanagan with a quick touch into the corner this time. Stacey, Gardner working to retrieve. Back out. Now Tabin. Tabin winds up. Hard shot. Gardner. Back to it. Ambrose just wide. This line is humming. Back down, Stacy looking to wrap around. Gapped out, Poulin. Another chance, Ambrose, one-timer. It goes above, and Carter just laying hits out on the ice. It's going to cost the Sceptres.
Called one in front too as Megan Carter sent Stacy down as well. If they're getting their zone time, they're putting pressure on Toronto, so it's getting very physical down low. And there is the shove off puck.
And the laughter from the captain, but Scamora called for interference. So second power play for the Victoire.
When you score that kind of, you put up those kind of points as Poulin does, you direct attention. And
Stacy trying to find some space down to Barnes. And up. They had 2 shots on their first power play. Didn't break through, but Stacy in the left circle comes out. Draws comfort with her. Cross-ice feed. Finds Stacy once more. Back to Ambrose with the shot. Looking for the redirect by Gardner. It's a good clear for Toronto.
You know, when this Montreal power play started to get turned around, they had moved Stacy off the flank into net front. And, you got to wonder if that's not something they want to experiment again with. Just start getting point shots and someone big, strong in front and see if you can create something.
2:40 to go in the first period. It's still just over a minute left. 5-on-4 for Montreal. Fast. Coming up on Tabin, Lena Ljungblom. Maureen watching on. Maureen comes away with it. Trying to shake off Malte as she gets around. Now Wilgren from the far point this time. Miller trying to steer it, finds Emma Malte. She can't hold on. Wilgren to Tabin. It's Tabin now with a burst of speed. Fast, keeping in step with her. Back around Wilgren. And Murphy. 23 seconds left in this power play, second of the game for Montreal. Right now, no shots. Can they come away with it? In the final seconds, O'Neill and Maureen just tries to throw it on net. Turnbull brings it up for Gumpher. Toronto shorthanded. Turnbull takes it in herself. Scamora out of the penalty box, back to even strength. 2 for 2 on the penalty kill for the Sceptres. And in comes Haley Scamora with the feed to Willoughby. My goodness, so close. Another chance, but Truly was able to make a good read on it too, getting a piece of it. Dalton out to O'Neill.
Well, there are some of the details for Montreal, is not allowing that play in behind you. On a broken play, you still want to take the body. Toronto's gotten in behind them a couple times down low like that.
Final minute of play. Montreal looking to tie things up before heading into the locker room. Grant Mentis keeps it in despite pressure from Monroe. Carter around the boards. Gardner, and out comes Spooner trying to take space. Into the far corner, Keppel throws it. Poulin and Carter driving into that lane. Now Stacy, big hits behind the net.
It gets rough down low. Megan Carter's thrown a lot of hits. She's been out there quite a bit against this top line. Hits against Poulin, hits against Stacy. You know that's going to draw some attention. Again, down low. So, you know, you're throwing the body on the top line of a team, the line that's done most of the damage. You know it's going to raise the temperature of a game, get the emotions going. And Toronto getting in behind. Again, broken play. Montreal loses her coverage, and they get that chance. Julie's got to make that pad save.
They had to adjust the score clock. I looked up and saw 2 minutes. That's why the intensity ramping up here as the final 22 seconds now remains. Stacy looking for an angle. Denied by Harmon. Harmon stays with Gardner. She turns around. Gardner to Stacy. Miller puts it around Barnes. Out to Gardner this time, patient. Looking to feed it to Poulin. And through 20 minutes, it's the Toronto Sceptres with a power play goal from Natalie Spooner and a 1-0 lead. It's 1-0 Toronto over Montreal. off control through the opening frame. 10 of 16. Turnbull and Poulin, the captains, will meet at center ice. The Victoire, a team so strong in the second period. They have scored the most second period goals of any team in the league. And of Poulin's 12 goals scored, 9 of them have come in the middle frame. Now Turnbull brings it in to the slot, kept out. And a feed up to Stacey, a player that many know is dangerous when she gets to top speed. In the defensive zone for the Victoire, Katie Tabin looks to send it out, works off the wall. Flanagan to Monroe. Talked about the hard-hitting start Monroe has had. In comes Hannah Miller. She drives the net. Puck steered the other way, and O'Neill quick out to Stacey off the skate, though.
It's a couple times Miller's been able to walk into the center of the ice and not be able to get that shot off. You don't want to give her that real estate.
You can tell the Victoire are so solid making those adjustments in the locker room. There's a different kind of energy to start the second period. Watts coming through. Can't get the shot up. Tries again. It's saved. And there's the whistle. Wilgren getting into it with Watts.
Daryl Watts just taking a poke at that puck, but a nice play and a couple of scoring chances. And Hannah Miller, who's able to walk right into the middle of the ice again. She's having such a good season. You don't want to give her that real estate. She beats the D. And Daryl Watts, just the patience to try to make that pass, and she follows up. The puck is sitting there. Montreal doesn't like that very much, and they clear her out.
Woods out to Ryland McKinnon, off the crossbar and up, settles back down on the ice. Now Spooner tries to keep it in the neutral zone. Carter with control, deflected off Woods' far side, looks for the feed. Hope to connect with Malte, but out they come. Sent right back by Carter. Boulier goes cross ice to Grant Mentis. She puts it in the glove of Campbell.
That's probably a smart play for Montreal, and they've given up a few chances, so just get that puck down to the other end of the ice. And Ryland McKinnon, now this comes off of a one face-off, clean win, out to the point, fire that puck. You got the flash screen coming across, you know it's going to hit something. You just put it on net, and that one gets the crossbar.
In the left circle, Toronto zone. Turnbull at the dot with Maureen Murphy. Now Tabin from the draw. Comfer eyeing that puck, keeping it along the line. Turnbull comes away with it out to Scamora this time. Scamora shows it to work in the net. Absolutely. Turnbull sets it back to Harmon, to Scamora. Now Derek Gregg, she played it into the neutral zone. Maureen Murphy faces some pressure. Gardner from the half wall. And patrolling the goal line is Harmon. And Scamora sends it down, a change for the Sceptres. Poulin, bothered by Caitlin Willoughby. Sends it across to Stacey. Quick pass to Barnes. In comes Kayla Barnes with control. Taken away. Turnover, and Miller looking for Willoughby. Willoughby in the far corner. Hit by Wilgren. Now along the near side, Stacey to Gardner. Gardner now finds Stacey this time. Can't get ahead of Monroe. Down to Poulin. Up this time, Dubois. Looking for a lane. Try to find Stacey in the slot. Back out. Laskova finds O'Neill, putting it up to Dubois, who cuts through. Back down, Flanagan with a good poke. Dubois. Cross ice pass as Willoughby sends it back. Quick shot from the draw, and another chance on the rebound by Dubois. Katie Tabin over to Ambrose. Corrine. It's wide. Still another chance for Montreal through traffic. Tabin collects it far side. Shakes off the Sceptres. Forced to the outside, looking for space in the middle. Corrine. Now Tabin in control in the neutral zone. Corrine forces Miller to circle around. Another chance here is Barnes. Oh, it's kept away by Maggie Connors. A turnover. Maggie Connors comes in. A lone Sceptre as Toronto gets a change. And in comes Claire Dalton. Fast work off her feet. Now Claire Dalton kept out Grand Mentis. It was just out of reach.
Good stuck for Carter as she poked that puck away.
Dalton. Collision around the far wall. Play on. Gosling to Connors this time. Connors kept out as Laskova. The good stick. Out comes Laura Stacey. Just getting tied up there with Rylan McKinnon. Loose puck and McKinnon now into the far side in the far corner. Stacey along the goal line. Looking for the shot. What a block. Megan Carter laying the hits, taking the blocks. And Julia Gosling, the good takeaway. Tried to come away with it.
A great shift again by this young defensive pair. Megan Carter with a great play, a great block, as she's having a great game.
Keppel to Gardner. Renata fast. Trying to get the puck out. Scamora has it in the defensive zone. Tries to get it out to Harmon. These neutral zone battles. Comfer in the glove.
Jesse Comfer, who you know she likes to play against this Montreal team, and there was her chance right in the slot. Laura Stacey, once again, hard to contain when she gets up to speed as she comes down on her off wing. Just slides that puck under McKinnon's stick. Tries to cut in front. McKinnon takes away that pass. And then again, another great defensive play as Megan Carter comes out and blocks that Laura Stacey shot.
Malte trying to make something, but fast. Gets in front of Dubois. Working with Harmon to get out, and away she comes. Renata fast. Circles back. Looking for the pass. Keeps it herself. Tabin now. Harmon in front, net front. Bit of a scramble. Comfer was right there. Fast keeps it. Now Harmon. Over to Fast this time. Patient looks for the lane. Comes in with a shot. Malte down low. Keeps it for the Sceptres. Izzy Daniel and Monroe back out on the ice. Fast, high slot this time. The point. Out to Miller. Miller comes in the circle. High slot shot. Just in front, another chance. Net front, Allie Monroe. They score! Teamwork makes the dream work, and Allie Monroe with a go-ahead goal.
What a great shift for this unit. They get a line change in, but Renata Fast, who started most of this, she's got the patience up top not to throw the puck away. She waits, hesitates, there's no one at the net front, makes the pass instead, keeps the play alive, and then they get it into that slot area, go to work, and pick up a scrambling puck. Now, Fast throws that initial spot on net, they probably turn it over, and it goes the other way, so you've got to love the veteran patience.
And another first goal of the season as well in this game for Allie Monroe. No points in her last games, and it's only her second career goal at that. A big one for a 2-0 lead against the Victoire. There have been no goalless periods between these two teams in all their meetings this season.
Allie Monroe's having a game too.
You can tell that the week off has really allowed this team to come out strong. It's great revenge. It seems like such a long time ago, but they last played against Montreal, and it was that loss at Place Belle. So they're looking for some revenge. Watts to Miller. It's just wide. Megan Carter.
Nice pass back to Miller, and you got Daniel driving the net. I like this line combination.
Now another chance coming in. Connors, backhand scores! 3-0 for the Sceptres. And the crowd loves it.
I'll talk about waiting in the weeds, and Montreal completely lost track of Maggie Connors. And Toronto gets this puck to her quick. Carter up, and then it's quick up, quick over. They've lost track of Connors, and she's in all alone. Nice patience in that move to the backhand to beat Julie.
59 seconds between goals. 3-0 lead for Toronto. And when we look at the season series, Montreal had a 3-0 lead over Toronto in one of their previous meetings, but this has got to feel good for the Sceptres. They've been unable to close things out, and it's a big part of the story when you look at Montreal being a team potentially closing out this regular season the #1 spot.
Well, it's Toronto tonight, so far with the 3-0 lead.
Time in Montreal franchise history that they've had to pull a goaltender. It's always been a complete night for either netminder. And so the best goaltender in the league is now across the ice from Kristen Campbell. Now Turnbull at the dot. A moment here, but the assists on those goals, Daniel, Miller, Watts, Carter, so lots of players getting in on the scoring tonight. And a fast pass nearly ends up back in their own net. Comfer plays it up to Turnbull. Turnbull shoots off the pad of Desbiens. Harmon tries to float it in. Scamora in the near corner. Ambrose phones in and fast. Comfort plays it into the corner once more. Poulin trying to work it off. And Harmon gets it into the slot. Poulin just looking up, has Ambrose. So a 3-0 lead. Is that enough for the Sceptres? Spooner comes around. Desbiens is not allowed, well, 2 or fewer she's allowed in her last 13 starts. Of course, this is not a start. She'll look to give her team some space. Some time on the scoreboard here as Montreal looks to get on the board. Covered by Campbell.
Campbell decides just to slow this one down as George is coming off the bench.
Having a quick word with Flanagan. And Boreen, patient with it, takes the shot. Wilgren to set up her team once more. Barnes kept at the goal line. Big hit by Miller on Dubois. Dubois back up. Her feed gets picked off, and Izzy Daniel comes away. Daniel with an assist in this game. Looks around as Miller at the half wall. Barnes to get around. Watts and Flanagan now chasing down the puck. Gets there fast enough, but Dubois out to Murphy. Sent back down, Boreen is there. Carter trying to stay with her. Another chance here for Montreal. Boreen. She had a shot off the pad of Campbell. Dubois. And the Sceptres.
Well, that's better pressure from Montreal. And you get Dubois and Boreen out there together. They are really good along the wall and down low.
On the attack, the Sceptres, Natalie Spooner, open scoring. Gets the puck back, takes it around. Nina Youngbloom gets on the move into the neutral zone. Big hit by Dara Gregg. Stops that momentum, but out comes Emma Malte. She looks for a pass, keeps it. Up in front, not quite, was looking for Woods. Down low, Ryland McKinnon. Malte. Another chance, another foot race, but it'll be an icing call. They were number 1 last season, the top 2 teams, of course, getting to host those semifinal rounds. Now Watts. Looking for a way into the middle. Kept in by Harmon. Down to Miller. Keppel cutting off her path. It's fast. Sends it down to Daniel once more. Watts. Amanda Boulier comes through for the Victoire.
She had Renata Fast coming in on that pinch, so Montreal's got to chip that out. Good job not to send it all the way down the ice.
Jen Gardner takes it around. Drop to Poulin. Stacy trying to shoot through the circle. Laskova plays it back to Poulin. This top line has been so good for the Victoire. Team that has had great success scoring 5-on-5. Still looking for their first goal of this game. 7.5 minutes left in the second period.
This top line to the offense. They had 2 games where they went quiet and they lost both those games.
Stacy with the feed to Gardner. Off the far side this time. In comes Toronto. Turnbull. Taking the full force of Kayla Barnes. Turnbull. Good pass. Monroe. Sends it down. Laskova to Poulin. Good touch by Flanagan. Bit of a diving play by Scamora. She goes off. Now Laura Kluka in blue. Allie Monroe tries to keep it in the neutral zone. Using the glass. Barnes gets it back to the offensive zone. Lots of back and forth here, Becky, but in comes Juliet Gosling. And just like that, Montreal on the move the other way. Dalton gonna work off the wall. Carter keeping her at bay. Loose stick belongs to Kluga. Gosling in on these board battles here. Boulier pulls away. Amanda Boulier with a quick fire. Wilgren, it skips. Verdi George also down low for Montreal.
Toronto's made it really hard for Montreal to get inside position, and part of that is their ability to get the puck out of the zone quickly. Megan Carter just flips that one out to safety and allows her team to reset and go again.
Chris O'Neill puts it down. In comes Erin Ambrose. 11 assists on the season for Ambrose. Shot by Tabin, blocked by Spooner and Desbiens. That is the top goaltender. Oh my goodness, Desbiens way out of position. And a penalty drawn as Spooner had a lane to an open net. Catherine Dubois taking the seat as Anne-Renee Desbiens out of position. Takes the penalty, and Toronto will head to the power play next.
Claire Turnbull's arguing, I don't know, maybe she wanted a penalty shot on that.
Got to make your case, Becky Keller, but either way, third power play brought to you by Royale Titantel for the Toronto Sceptres. Of course, they got on the board in the first period. Natalie Spooner, who's out on the ice right now, getting that one on the very first shot. So the Montreal penalty kill, they look to do what they normally do. They've been very effective from the face-off just to get that switch out. Of course, the no escape rule, trapping those players on the ice, the players who were there when the whistle blew.
And they got the one change, and they got Stacy on the ice. O'Neill, of course, took the opening face-off, so they got two very good penalty killers out there up front.
Fast. Tried to feed it up. Gets to Miller. They got to watch out as Poulin is now on the ice and shorthanded. Marie-Philippe Poulin to Stacy. And they just missed, but what a rush there for Montreal.
One too many passes.
Watts slowing it down. Goes for the centering feed. He's fast on the far side. Gosling. Didn't grab that pass, so Miller has to shake off Stacy and Poulin. Out comes Turnbull. Ambrose loses her stick. The puck gets flipped into the crowd. Toronto with the advantage here. 5-on-3. Miller. Stalemate at the dot. Watts. Looks for Lane. Quick pass, quick fire. Kept out. Spooner net front. Fast, a quick shot, tipping, score! Toronto with their 4th goal of the game, 2nd of the night for Natalie Spooner.
Oh, they're still on the power play. But you want to know how you beat Desbiens? That's exactly it. If she can't, you got traffic to the net. This one gets up in a hurry. Renata fast with a beautiful shot. They get a couple. Daryl Watts with the first one. Up, over, D to D, fire. Gets the tip on this one. Natalie Spooner, so good net front. She's got a big body. She's getting in front of the eyes. You watch as she moves. Little check over her shoulder. Yep, I'm still in front of her. And then she gets a stick on that puck. What a game she's having. Facing a goaltender that good, that's the way. You've got to make it difficult for her.
3 second period goals for the Sceptres. Their first against Anne-Renee Desbiens since the goaltender switched for Montreal.
I don't know Renata Fast as well, and the work that she's done on the power play this year. She's just been fantastic.
Part of why she also leads all defenders in scoring coming into this game, and Fast lays it over to Spooner, getting caught up. Another loose stick out on the ice. That one belongs to O'Neill. Toronto still on the power play. 5-on-4. Poulin in the penalty box. Fast. Wind up shot. Miller. Right down Main Street. Just a little bit mishandled. Forced back into the neutral zone. The crowd reacting to the goal announcements. And in comes Spooner. Looking for a hat trick. Spooner in the glove. Not quite. Kept out. Miller. Cross ice to Harmon. Flanagan. Blocked by Gardner. Now Miller takes a shot. Kept out. Quick work by Tabin. To flip it into the near wall. Harmon. Turnbull. 35 seconds on this power play.
This part of the 5-on-4 has certainly looked better than the initial part of the 5-on-4. A little more urgency.
Malte to Harmon on the near point as Murphy came in. 20 seconds to go. Montreal looking for a good penalty kill here. Flanagan fires. Tabin. Pressed up along the boards, Turnbull and Harmon. And that'll do even strength but comfort. Setting up. Tries to slide the shot through. Out comes Poulin, Malte to Comfort. And that pass, a quick stick by Poulin.
Poulin looked like she was hesitating as she came out of the box. Maybe she was going to try to wait in behind the Toronto D, but Montreal not able to get a stick on the puck.
The Victoire will need a quick response here. Time winding down in the second period. A middle frame dominated by the Sceptres. Forcing a goaltender change. Now Barnes. It's offside. So Montreal looking for a response here late in the second to get on the board. Dalton trying to work it off the wall. to George in as well. Grant Mentis facing pressure from Monroe. He's smothered. In fast is Barnes. Barnes fires. The bouncing puck. Grant Mentis can't bury it right on the doorstep.
Well, that's a great shot, Kayla Barnes. She's got Campbell screened there for a split second, and she shoots that puck back at the far side.
And the crowd cheering soup inside Coca-Cola Coliseum in the final minute here of the second period. Now, Turnbull keeps it. Up to Emma Malte. Malte comes in, shoots, it's saved by Devienne. As Turnbull tries to throw it back towards the net, 20 seconds to go here. Fast to Harmon from the blue line. Fast through traffic in front. Toronto trying to slip it in, five hole. It's covered, and of course, we've got some fish flying inside the crease. Maureen getting in there as well.
There's got to be a little bit of frustrations right now for Montreal. And they're getting into it in front of the net once again as the emotions fly in this game. Renata Fast with another great point shot. And again, it's the patience up top. You don't want to throw it through a shin pad. You're going to wait. You don't see anything. You bring it back. So she doesn't have the lane. Stop. Bring it back and then just fire that little wrister. And she's got traffic right there. Blair Turnbull on the doorstep. Up a cross-check's flown and a blocker as well. So they could get something off this face-off.
All right, so Derek Gregg takes a seat in the penalty box. All right. So it's a 5-on-4 advantage for the Montreal Victoire and an empty net. Check it, it's 6-on-4, of course, just for that 1.6 seconds. That'll do for a very busy second period. And despite some chances for Montreal, it's all firing on all cylinders for Toronto. Through 2 periods. Montreal still looking for their first goal of the game. What can the Victoire do? They've been able to find ways to win. To come back from a 4-goal deficit. Who's in for making a little history tonight? Gardner sends it down. In comes Barnes. And of course, the Victoire have been enjoying such a comfortable view from the top as the league leader for several weeks with some good distance. In comes Poulin trying to get the feet. Gets it to Stacey with a shot in front. And Carter able to just get in there and keep that puck out of reach. Ambrose flips it down. Now Barnes trying to float it over to Poulin. Ambrose to Stacey. Quick puck movement. This team fired up. Of course, on the power play as well. A very late power play opportunity in the second period. Came from that big scrum in front of the net. 2 Sceptres in the box, 1 Victoire. Stacey shoots. And it's into the netting.
Stacey with a couple shots on this power play so far. And the first one really looked like it handcuffed Campbell. She's still able to make the save. And she comes in, walks in, gets this shot off on the blocker. And they were able to start this penalty kill with the unit out that they wanted. So Toronto doing a nice job to get out in the lane for the most part with Stacey with 2 shots.
Power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Wilgren down to Boreen. Can they break through on the advantage? Murphy again to Boreen. They draw players their way. Quick touch by Taven, blocked by Monroe. Monroe picking up her first goal of the season tonight. Wilgren, a point. Down to Taven along the half wall. In comes Youngbloom, gets the puck back to Taven in front. Boreen can't corral the puck, but a penalty. I'll give Montreal an even bigger advantage.
Well, this one's only going to be for 14 seconds, and Toronto comes out, they're pressuring the puck, and I think they've got a beat on it. When you pressure hard, if it doesn't work, that means you're getting caught on the outside. They do that. Boreen gets left in the middle of the ice, so Scamora's got to come in and take that penalty in order to take away the scoring chance.
It's a little crowded in the penalty box. 5-on-3, Ambrose to Barnes. She winds up just high. Out comes Comfort. 5-on-4. Still time. Stacey drives towards the net. Gardner with 2 power play goals on the season. 2 of Montreal's 10. Now Comfort. Able to get a stick on it fast. Forced to circle back over to Harmon. Good penalty killing. The crowd applauding what they see from Toronto.
Well, there's no incentive not to take penalties on Montreal right now if they can't capitalize.
5-on-4. Plenty of time here for Montreal. Extended time on the power play. Having started this period on the advantage and then drawing another penalty.
Monroe with another nice play there. Some good pressure on the wall, and then a desperation play to make sure that gets out.
50 seconds to go here. And Toronto shorthanded, spending a little time in Montreal's end. Wilgren settles it. Plenty of time here, 40 seconds. Wilgren setting up the rush, has Boreen. Boreen brings Carter her way. Back out to Wilgren, shoots. Ljungblom set up for a tip-in. Ljungblom now from the far wall. Tabin retrieves up to Wilgren. They trade passes. As Wilgren looks for the lane. Sends it down to Murphy. Around they go. Quick touch, Tabin. 5 seconds remain. And out comes Caitlin Willoughby, shorthanded. Scamora back out on the ice. 5 shots for the Victoire while on the advantage. Fast. Big part of that penalty kill. Trying to set up something for Malte, who gets in front of Keppel. In the near corner. Spooner now. O'Neill. As Beaulieu, now Keppel. So Turnbull and Gregg, of course, still in the penalty box. Just want to remind everyone we're now at even strength. The penalty box is empty right now. For now. Montreal needing those face-off wins and getting them. But in the neutral zone, pass picked off. Flanagan trying to feed it up to Turnbull. Scamora grabs it back. A number of players who collected their first goals of the season. Scamora would love to be another.
We talked to Coach Troy Ryan about her, and he says she does so many little things well that if she wants to get on the board. As a forward, you always want to get on the board, but if she doesn't, she's still a valuable asset for this team.
Well, and she leads the league when it comes to shots taken by a player who has not yet scored this season. So you know she feels like it's coming. But right now it is Montreal that needs to get going, and Poulin, she'd be the one to do it. Puts it on Campbell, tries again off the rebound. Gregg with the feed to Ambrose, out to Tabin this time in the middle. And away comes Laura Kluge. Kluge looking in, has Gosselin flying down the slot. Laura Kluge with a burst of speed as well. Dara Gregg. Kluge cuts her path short along the near wall. Back around now, Ambrose. That shot just steered into the far corner. George and Dubois trying to get to work for the Victoire. In comes Ambrose with a block by Connors. That sets up Connors to get around. Maggie Connors puts it in the glove. Maggie Connors coming in, looking for her second goal of the night so far. The Victoire still trying to find their first, trailing by 4.
Montreal has been outstanding, but they need to get some scoring throughout the lineup, and in particular, their second line right now. You know, you got a team where your first line's scoring, but your power play's not going, your second line's not going, so you fear that the bubble's going to burst at some point.
Toronto coming in the offensive zone. Prior to that, Montreal had won all 6 faceoffs in the third period. Grant Mentis trying to pull up. What a block by McKinnon. Keppel again through traffic. The puck comes out. Push to the outside. As McKinnon to the Sceptres. Stick by Woods. And we're back on the Sceptres side, and so far shots now tied 23 apiece. Toronto's first 3 goals coming on their first 13 shots. And Lena Ljungblom on her own, trying to come around looking for a wraparound, does draw a penalty. So off goes Desbiens. There's the whistle, but Montreal will head their 5th power play.
Ljungblom does a nice job here to use her body, drop the shoulder, and try to protect the puck and drive the lane. She forces Flanagan to take this penalty. There's another player when you talk about shuffling the line. She's been dropped down to see if she can get some better matchups. Like the way she moves her feet here. She's going to put Montreal back on the power play once again.
It'll be lucky number 5. Power play brought to you by Royale, Tiger Tell, Gardner to Ambrose, and back. They've been given plenty of opportunity. Stacey with the shot blocked. Of course, players like Izzy Daniel doing that, Becky, going to be tough to get through.
Get that puck down the ice quickly now, and you get that change that you want. But again, I find it remarkable. Kayla Barnes is the net front player on this unit.
Poulin looking for Stacey. Sends it around. Carter with another good hit to stop Stacey. It is about cutting off her path. That's part of the assignment for the Sceptres, according to their head coach.
Well, she's got speed, and she gets up to speed quickly, but even down low, you need to cut off that path. She's a big body, and she protects the puck well.
Well, in shorthanded is Emma Malte. Because Emma Malte loves a jailbreak at 2 in her inaugural season. Boreen fires it in the near corner. Out comes Malte. Up to Haley Scamora. On. Looking for a jailbreak. Denied by Desbiens.
Well, she was looking to slide that 5-hole. She had the 5-hole open. She just missed her mark.
Wilgren to Murphy. Can they get going fast? Cutting her off. 30 seconds to go. 5th power play for the Victoire. Still looking for a goal. A team has had plenty of success 5-on-5. But this is a key piece if they're looking to make a deep playoff run this year. Dalton trying to drop it off, and Comfort sends it down.
Just making it hard for Montreal even to get through the neutral zone. Forcing them to the outside and then converging.
Out comes Flanagan. We're back to even strength. No shots on Campbell during that power play. O'Neill trying to set up. Takes it back. The ice has been tilted for Montreal. Grant Mentis backhand catches the post. That would have been a nifty one for the Victoire. Quick stick by Willoughby as she comes in.
Well, that's what you want if you don't get momentum off of the power play, to see if that unit that comes on after can get something done.
Trying to get the puck up to Dara Gregg. He takes her on the net, dropped off for Dubois. And there's those hits. Kluga getting in on them too. Toronto has definitely out-muscled Montreal in this game. As Willoughby rims it. Woods on the far side. Toronto on the attack. Hasn't spent much time in the offensive zone, but has to be expected here. Montreal knows they've got to get going. We've now passed the halfway point of the third period, and that could have been a centering feed. Fired from the point, blocked by Monroe. This has been all heart, all team from the Sceptres. Julia Gosling out there with Spooner. Spooner already has 2 goals. Now Miller, back down, Gosling. Try to fire that behind her.
Miller had Spooner on the doorstep, and I think she was just trying to feed that one across.
And Derek Gregg flips it up, lands on the ice. Pass to Watts. There's the Sceptres trying to get going as well. Keep Montreal off the puck. Poulin. Big stick to Laskova. And out comes Jen Gardner. Tabin! A bit of a misfire. That's got to hurt. It clipped her hand. So Toronto holding on to that 4-0 lead in the third.
Last time Montreal had a power play, Elise Gamora almost got a jailbreak goal. She got in all alone, and you get a power play that is not connecting. The last thing you want to do is give up one of these. The burst of speed as she comes in. She looks for the 5-hole. It's there. She has it. She just doesn't put it where she wants it. So Montreal, it's the last thing you can afford to do when your power play has not been operating where you want it, nowhere near where you want it.
Sixth chance on the player advantage here for Montreal. Brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. 10th power play of this game. And it's cleared out quick, so Toronto goes for their change. And Montreal talked about it coming into this. No power play goals against Toronto through this series. So far 0 for 16. What can be done? Jen Gardner looking to change that narrative. Her feed gets deflected. Toronto, 4 goals already. 5.5 minutes left in the third period. A regulation win for the Sceptres, of course, moves them once again ahead of the Boston Fleet. The Fleet taking over second place. A big win over New York last night, but the Victoire looking to regroup, getting on the board. What they're trying to do. They have not been able to do it when they've had the player advantages. Coming out to Dubois. She fires. Back behind. Flanagan. Now into the neutral zone. Wilgren puts it far side. Of course, this is the first of a 4-game road trip for the Montreal Victoire. It's their longest road trip this season. They've been able to really break things up into chunks. They did have a busy stretch to start the new year, going in those 3 takeover tour games.
7 of the last 10 on the road, so it's going to be a difficult last third of the season for Montreal.
Barnes puts it on Campbell. Campbell, who's faced 25 shots so far. Toronto with a slight edge. And a quick shot by Poulin. Bar down for their first of the night.
This isn't necessarily a clutch moment, but oh my goodness, that is a rocket. You lose track of her for a split second, and she has the ability to do this. Stacey Poulin, and she snipes this one. Top shelf. What a beauty of a goal. You know, Troy Ryan before the game had said you can kind of keep tabs on her, but you lose track of her on the ice because she's able to find those pockets and because she's able to score from distance. What a goal.
13th goal of the season, still leading the league when it comes to goals. And Montreal, of course, for the longest time having played the fewest games, so she was really putting those goals together. Under 4 minutes here. Now, of course, there was quite the epic streak for the Victoire that when their captain scored, they would win 8 straight games where she has scored, and they have won.
I think tonight that's just a wake-up call to Toronto that this game isn't over, and they've been a little sleepy in the third. Lots of penalties. So you want to get back to your game to continue to build those good habits.
And Miller getting turned around at the half wall.
She's going to draw a penalty for that.
And it's tough for the Victoire, who, of course, know that they're in deep. Final 3 minutes here, and now 6-on-5 as Campbell goes. McKinnon winds up. Desbiens saved. Rebound collected. Turnbull, patient, fires. Some extended time here with the delayed penalty. Thumper to Carter. Back out, of course. Time on Toronto's side here.
That's just a great way to kill the clock as well.
No goalless periods between these two teams through now their 5 meetings. They have one more after this. Sunday, March 23rd in Montreal.
George takes this penalty and she's got a bear hug on Hannah Miller.
Royale Tiger Towel power play. Been a busy night. Miller. Across to Watts in front. Spooner! Not quite. Spooner, of course, with 2 goals already. Both coming on the power play in this game.
2 minutes for holding at 17 minutes and 19
Patient.
seconds. That's DeGeorge.
Over to Miller once more. Fast!
17-19.
Sends it down. Desbiens with the save.
She's got to be sharp there because once again she's got Spooner standing right in front of her. This Toronto team seems to find different ways on the power play. As Daryl Watts walks out front, she takes that space and she hits Spooner on the back door. She just can't quite get her stick fully on that. Just when you think this team is working their power play low, they work it from high, create a chance that way.
The Sceptres, their 5th power play, but Laura Stacey, short-handed, looking for the jailbreak, has Poulin. Turnbull keeps Poulin away.
Great back check from Blair Turnbull.
Now another chance, short-handed, for the Victoire. He's trying to set up here in the offensive zone, out of reach for Ambrose, so Desbiens will play it.
I think Poulin thought that one was offside, but it was Toronto that brought it back inside the blue line.
Ambrose puts it to the other end as we approach the final minute and a half of the 3rd period. Only goal in this frame coming from the Montreal Victoire. Even strength. On the power play, Daniel circles back, finds fast. Over to Carter, to Watts now. She comes in, moving through the middle. Despite falling, tries to fire that towards Desbiens. Miller now. Into the slot. Blocked up by the Victoire. We're in the final minute of play here. Fast. Keeps the puck. 10 seconds remaining on this power play for Toronto. Miller blocked by Grant Mentis. Little fancy stick work. Watts, 1 shot on that power play. Back to even strength for George. Out of the penalty box. Dominance from Toronto. 9 players contributing to those 4 goals. Out comes Grant Mentis. Of course, it would be nice to have a strong finish for the Victoire. But this has been the Sceptres game from the jump. Montreal had 6 opportunities on the power play in this game. Poulin with the puck. This is the final 5 seconds. You can hear the crowd getting ready. A quick shot by Poulin. But it'll be Kristen Campbell and the Toronto Sceptres taking down Montreal. A 4-1 win for Toronto at home. Goals by Spooner, ×2 on the power play. Monroe and Connors. Poulin got 1 for the other side, and a 25-save night for Kristen Campbell. Thanks for joining us on behalf of Becky Keller, Rob Pizzo, our entire production crew, and the PWHL. I'm Daniela Ponticelli signing off from Toronto. Good night.